Good morning. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Thoughts from the Psalms. Today we're going to be reading Psalm 88, Psalm 87, which would have been today, and I think I mentioned this in yesterday's broadcast. Psalm 87 would be up for today, but that actually aired out of order back on April 29th, so instead we're reading Psalm 88. Psalm 88 is unique. It's pretty dark, in fact. It's not hopeful. Psalm 88 is almost totally depressing. At the end of Psalm 88, we'll hear the psalmist Heman, in fact, say this: God, I don't have any friends, not even you. And that's basically how the psalm ends. This psalm is a prayer written by someone who was depressed, feeling hurt, feeling despair. There's maybe one little note of some hope, one little light that Heman sees, as in verses 10 to 12, he asks God, spare my life so that I can tell others about you. But apart from that, one hopeful note, and in verse 1 where he calls God the God who saves me, this is a dark, dark psalm. Heman is in a dark place. He's hurting. He's mad at God. He's angry. He's bitter towards God. He doesn't understand why God would let what's happening in his life happen in his life. There are two reasons that such a psalm is recorded for us in the Bible. One of those reasons is that in your darkest moments, when you feel completely alone, abandoned, hurt, are despairing, you can at least know that one other person felt that way, that at the very least, if you are totally alone otherwise, Heman the Ezrahite commiserates with you. And the second reason is for comfort, because even though this psalm is dark and depressing and sad, we know that God heard it because he wrote it down in the Bible for us. We know that God was listening to Heman, was hearing his cries, was there with him in his despair, even though Heman didn't want to see it, didn't want to recognize it, as we often do. God was there. God heard these words. God wrote them down in this book for us. The angerness and the bitterness that Heman feels in this psalm towards God is not good and proper. It's sin. In the same way that the anger and bitterness that we sometimes feel and express toward God is sin as well. But this psalm was recorded for us so that we would know that even that anger, bitterness that we sometimes feel towards God is forgiven in Jesus. This psalm was recorded for us so that we know that nothing stands between us and God, that God hears our prayers even in our darkest moments, even when we're mad at him and we just want to let it all out at him. God hears, God cares, God loves, God forgives, and God will save. As you can already tell, today's broadcast is going to be a little different. I'm getting my words out of the way at this point. We'll read Psalm 88, and that's where the broadcast will wrap up. We won't pray Psalm 88. We'll let it stand on its own. I won't speak our usual blessing. We'll just read Psalm 88 and finish things up. But today I do encourage you to make Psalm 88 later a part of your prayers. Pray to the God who saves you. Pray that he give you faith that holds on to the promises he's made even in the darkest moments. Thank him for the forgiveness he won for you in Jesus. Thank him for the sure hope you have of resurrection. Let's read Psalm 88. O Lord, the God who saves me, day and night I cry out before you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. For my soul is full of trouble, and my life draws near the grave. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am like a man without strength. I am set apart with the dead, like the slain who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, who are cut off from your care. You have put me in the lowest pit, in the darkest depths. Your wrath lies heavily upon me. You have overwhelmed me with all your waves. Selah. You have taken from me my closest friends and have made me repulsive to them. I'm confined and cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, O Lord, every day. I spread out my hands to you. Do you show your wonders to the dead? Do those who are dead rise up and praise you? Selah. Is your love declared in the grave? Your faithfulness in destruction? Are your wonders known in that place of darkness, or your righteous deeds in the land of oblivion? But I cry to you for help, O Lord. In the morning my prayer comes before you. Why, O Lord, do you reject me and hide your face from me? From my youth I have been afflicted and close to death. I have suffered your terrors and am in despair. Your wrath has swept over me. Your terrors have destroyed me. All day long they surround me like a flood. They have completely engulfed me. You have taken my companions and loved ones from me. The darkness is my closest friend.